A massive and dangerous winter storm is on the way for a very large area of the country as we make our way into later this week, into this weekend. For some areas, this will last even into early next week. So, here to go over all the new information that we have from the overnight to the morning model runs. We'll cover the central U.S. first and then the eastern U.S. And then we'll have a segment where we kind of geek out with you guys a little bit and discuss what's pulling this entire winter storm together, all the dynamics, and just the nerding out stuff. Just remember, timestamps are littered throughout the video. If they don't show up in the video itself, look in the description below. YouTube's been being kind of weird lately and making my timestamps disappear in the video itself. So just remember, just look below in the description. You can click to whatever you want to, pay attention to and get information about. My name is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like it. And more importantly, if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So let's go over the latest Euro first. And this is the one from overnight. The morning run is still going right now, so we'll try to switch back to that. So we're going to start off all guidance with Friday afternoon. Timestamp up here, timestamp over here. So the blue that you see is snow. The orange and the pink is a wintry mix. Now, technically, the pink is freezing rain and the orange is sleet on this output from Weather Bell. But anyways, let's get going. So as you can tell, Friday afternoon, we got a winter storm already beginning across areas of the plains. We got snow breaking out across Oklahoma. It's light, but along the Red River here, we have a wintry mix breaking out. We got a wintry mix and snow breaking out across Arkansas. And as we continue to move forward, we start to get into the middle of the night, Friday night into Saturday. This Friday night into Saturday. It's right here in front of us, folks. Ice storm breaks out across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, points west and east, all the way into the Arklatex region. Southern areas of Arkansas getting an ice storm. Same thing with northern Louisiana, moving into western areas of Mississippi. And on the northern side of this is just good old-fashioned snow, and a cold, dry snow at that. We start to make our way into about Saturday morning. Raging snowstorms ongoing for most of Oklahoma. Still getting an ice storm. Now, I would argue that this is a sleet freezing rain mix in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's crazy. It's been such a warm start to winter, a warm winter overall so far. And I've always mentioned that you can flip in a dime out here in the Southern Plains. I don't live out here, but I know enough about the weather and about this area that things can flip very dramatically, and this storm will be a classic example of that. But you can see there's a boundary, right, in kind of the Red River into Arkansas of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Little Rock, for example, on this model run is snow. But we continue into Saturday evening, the 24th. Winter storm still ongoing. This is not a quick 12-hour event. This is more so a 24 to 48-hour event, maybe even longer for certain areas. Now, as we continue to move forward, okay, and we'll show you more of Tennessee here in a second. If you're wondering, Mitch, you're not showing all of Tennessee, but Western Tennessee getting a major winter storm, including Memphis, right on the boundary of freezing rain, sleet, and snow. And then you kind of get this reemergence of more moisture. You think it's about to be done, and here comes kind of a secondary surge. Like, this is Saturday night into Sunday, and this kind of just reamps the moisture. Still plenty of cold air at the surface in place, and you just continue to have this crazy winter storm ongoing, and then it finally wraps up Sunday, but you're still dealing with heavy freezing rain. Northeast Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, snow all the way up to Missouri, more amped up this run. Snow getting all the way up into southern areas of Illinois, and then finally it's done. Okay? Now, what about the GFS? What does it show? Let me move this out of the way. It's messing with my mouse over here. GFS, a little bit more suppressed, but it's kind of coming up a little bit more amped. Just because it's more amped, though, doesn't mean we're losing our cold air source. I'll talk about that more here in a second. But same thing. Friday afternoon, I think the GFS does a better job indicating sleet, but it still overdoes it. And the Euro just underdoes it. It doesn't show it at all, really. But we got just a nasty, sloppy winter storm, a mixed bag of precipitation across northern Texas, southern Oklahoma, getting along the border of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And then we continue here, and we take it into the middle of the night, Friday into Saturday. Major winter storm across central Texas, points north into Oklahoma, getting into Arkansas, Louisiana. How far north does this winter weather get? On this run, the GFS, it's not near as far north as the Euro. GFS could be wrong. Euro could be wrong. We know normally the GFS is the one that's wrong. But this shows just a massive sleet storm in this orange area. That's freezing rain in the pink. But just remember, on the northern fringe of this sleet, this could very well be snow. So don't get too caught up in all the pretty colors or not so pretty colors in some cases. I definitely consider the blue a pretty color because I love snow. But this is a snowstorm in northern areas of Texas into southern areas of Oklahoma, central areas of Arkansas. And then we get into Saturday afternoon. Cold press continues. And yeah, just a long duration event. It finally wraps up and it actually ends as some freezing rain along the Texas coastline as far south as like Corpus Christi, Houston. So pretty just wild stuff here. All right, so the latest run on the GFS AI. The AI guidance, so it was a battle yesterday between AI guidance and like your regular run-of-the-mill models like the Euro GFS, etc. And the AI guidance was just very warm. It's consistently trended colder now, back to the old school models like the Euro and GFS. So we're going to start off all guidance, and the timestamp is not going to be on your screen because I'm about to remove it, but this is Friday evening. So the outputs on this is a little bit different. This is Polar Weather, a great free site that's available to you guys as the public, and I love it because, you know, on the AI guidance, it kind of predicts what the precipitation is on the AI runs, because on like WeatherBell, it just shows precipitation. So phenomenal site to use. It's great that Tomer put this together for us. But anyways, let's continue to go here. And this is getting into Saturday morning. Make sure I got my days mixed up. Talking too much and mixing it up here. Saturday morning, huge winter storm. Now, I don't buy rain in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on this run. I think this will continue to trend colder. But the pink on this, I'm sorry, the purple on this, that's just a wintry mix. Could be sleet, could be snow, could be freezing rain, could be anything in between. But we continue to move here. And we start to get into Saturday night, and then we start to get into Sunday morning. You can see it's just a major winter storm across this area. And then it shows another area of precipitation that we'll talk about here in a second for the eastern U.S. Delivers another round for the southeast. So that's the GFS AI. If I said Euro AI, that's not what I meant. Now, this is the Euro AI. Let's see if we have the new run here. Probably not. No, we don't. All right, same thing. We're starting off Friday evening. Let's get this in motion. Now, this does show sleet, freezing rain. In fact, let's see what the thing here. Yeah. Well, actually, the orange means a rain-snow mix, but I don't know if that's exactly what would be in place in this setup. But anyways, view the orange and the purple is a wintry mix. And same thing Friday evening. Then we get into Saturday morning, and this is just a major winter storm. This is definitely colder than the GFS AI. Already Saturday morning, we have winter weather as far south as Austin, San Antonio. Look at this stripe of winter weather getting into Tennessee, and then this continues, and just a very long duration event. I mean, this is still, I mean, at this point, this is, dang, this is Sunday midday, and we're still dealing with some winter weather, and it moves in Friday night. It's an all-weekend ordeal, folks. Now, what about the latest Euro? Haven't looked at this yet. Let's see what it shows, and we're going to kind of compare it up against the normal Euro. Let's back it up here. Let's see what the difference is already. And yeah, it looks a tick colder. All right, but let's see how much of this that we have. So we'll move forward. It's the latest Euro coming in, and it does. It kind of looks colder. Let's look at this. Yeah, it's colder. You see on the overnight Euro, that freezing rain line is further north, and then you look at the current Euro run. You see how kind of that freezing rain and snow line kind of shifts south? That means colder air aloft is in place. So Saturday morning, raging still ice storm across Texas and the Louisiana. And then the run continues to go all the way into Saturday evening. And it's starting to show a little bit more snow now into Memphis, into Little Rock, getting close to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a colder run, and this continues. Goodness, it continues to go and go and go. And, get all the way into the eastern U.S. So it's a pretty wild run here. All right, let's go over the latest. Let's see what we got here. This is the Euro Ensemble from overnight. This makes up 51 members. This is only snow. Does not include sleet. Only snow. So you can see the signal was the highest for snow in Oklahoma and Arkansas and just north and just south. Okay, a few inches to several inches showing up in this area. And I remember this is skewed a little bit by some runs not showing a whole lot at all, and then some runs showing some huge snow totals. So you compare this up against the actual operational Euro, and this is how much snow it shows, which is over a foot in certain areas across Kansas, Oklahoma, across Arkansas, across Missouri. Now, what about the current run? Let's see what we got here. Current run, this only goes out to about late Sunday night. Let's compare that same time frame with this. So it looks like the current run went a little bit further to the south. Okay? Yeah, I mean, that's a big dip south from run to run here. So it shifts the heaviest snow further into Arkansas, into western Tennessee, into Memphis, things like that. So that's definitely a shift south. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a shift. So what about the GFS ensemble? This is the current run. Goes all the way out to Monday or Tuesday. And it really likes the idea of southern Oklahoma into central Arkansas and northern areas of Texas, and not as much up into Kansas and Missouri. Now you look at the operational run, it pretty much matches up run for run with the ensemble run, and it really has a stripe starting from New Mexico through northern areas, the panhandles of Texas, into Oklahoma, into Arkansas, of over a foot of snow. Okay, and then you look at the Euro AI, and I don't know, let's see if we got the new one. We do, and you see that little shift south? See that little shift south? See that little tick there? Yeah, so the Euro AI, you know, it's trying to bring that snow axis a little bit further to the south. Oklahoma, 8 to 12 inches of snow into Arkansas and western Tennessee, and even northern areas of Texas. Now, one thing that is going to be overdone by the GFS is sleet, but at least the GFS shows sleet. We're not going to get, I don't think we're going to get 4 to 5 inches of sleet. That's very tough to get. But there is going to be an axis of sleet, and it's going to be nearly impossible to figure out who is going to get sleeted to death. Sleet, remember, is those little ice balls. Freezing rain literally looks out like rain when you walk outside, but it's below 32 degrees. It means it's freezing at the surface. Snow, we all know what snow is, I hope. The blend of all models with ice. Strong freezing rain signal across Texas of over 1/4 of an inch in some areas. And then it gets even louder once you get into, say, areas of southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and Mississippi, where 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of ice is showing up on the blend of all models, which is one of the better things you can look at. I would still cut these totals down by a hair. Okay? Now, what about, and we're going to actually do this. So let's see. We're going to have, okay, we're good. We're going to show you the 06Z run too, which I don't know if it clears the entirety of the run here, but welcome to the Eastern U.S. We just clicked on this timestamp. What we're going to do here is we're going to start off Friday morning. This is the overnight Euro, and the green is rain. Any kind of blue you see is snow. The orange and the pink you show up is a wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet. Okay, pink technically freezing rain, orange technically is sleet. So let's get going. I first off want to start Friday morning because I do want to watch this first disturbance. A ton of cold air has not moved in yet, so this will be mainly a rain-snow mix, but I want to watch kind of an appetizer event for North Carolina. And then the main course comes in. We get into Saturday morning and look at this area of snow breaking out across these sections of the northern deep south and the mid-south, and this is moving in, and then we start to get into midday Saturday. Check out this area of snow in northern Georgia, even all the way into the Midlands of South Carolina, getting into Charlotte. And then we got the snow breaking out across the southern areas of Tennessee. And look at this icing, freezing rain from Jackson over to Birmingham. And then we take it to about Saturday evening. All right, this is the 24th, this Saturday, and we got this intense area of snow moving into the upstate of South Carolina, western areas of North Carolina, heavy snow across most of Tennessee, and then we get to the south, and quickly in that Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia border, it goes from snow on this run to a wintry, icy mix, and we got freezing rain and sleet breaking out across the Midlands of South Carolina, Atlanta getting freezing rain, and I would argue that this is freezing rain in certain areas of this. Where it shows pink, this is probably freezing rain. But this is heavy, heavy snow. Late Saturday night, in the middle of the night, Saturday night and a Sunday in Charlotte, in the Piedmont, North Carolina. Heavy snow still in Nashville, Knoxville, Gatlinburg, the Tri-Cities area. Up into Kentucky, it's starting to snow. And we continue to move forward. Still hanging on to snow for dear life in Charlotte. In the Triad, and it's snowing like crazy in Raleigh, up into eastern North Carolina, the Hampton Roads area, up into Danville, I'm trying to mention as many names as I can without getting too hung up on this. But snow's getting all the way up into the DC corridor. Snow's getting all the way up into Kentucky, West Virginia, Charleston, with a nasty ice storm breaking out from Huntsville, Birmingham, Atlanta, I mean, heck, all the way down to Macon on this run, all the way down to Columbia, and then we continue to move forward here, and it's still just an all-out just ice storm Sunday afternoon across northern Georgia, all the Carolinas, and you got heavy snow switching to freezing rain and sleet across areas of North Carolina with a massive snowstorm moving into the mid-Atlantic, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, all the way into the Ohio Valley, and then it just kind of shears apart. But I don't 100% buy that, but we'll watch it. But it looks like it weakens as it gets into the Northeast. But then we got to watch for a secondary round as we're getting into early next week, like Monday into Tuesday. It tries to kind of rebring some moisture into this at the end of the Euro, and then it wraps up and actually into some northwest flow. And then a coastal tries to pop up here. And I honestly think that coastal is kind of the secondary push of moisture behind this. And it tries to deliver you guys a quick snowstorm Monday night and Tuesday up here. Now let's back it up and let's look at the latest 06Z, which wasn't done running before I started. Let's see how different this looks. It's the latest Euro run. So as it's coming in, here it goes. Kind of the same look. Not a whole lot different here. And, you know, this is, let's back it up a little. It's a little bit too fast. This is Saturday midday, bringing some snow. I'm not going to break it down as much as I did just the last Euro. But same thing. It kind of looks the same. Heavy snow moving into Memphis. Looks a little bit colder out west. And then we start to move into Saturday evening, and that is heavy snow in Huntsville. Memphis getting in the Nashville, moderate snow. We got a winter storm moving into South Carolina. Atlanta, this would be sleet, freezing rain. Snow starting to move into northern South Carolina and North Carolina. And then we get into Saturday night, Sunday. This is heavy snow moving across Charlotte, Hickory, Asheville, Knoxville. It's snowing for the entirety of Tennessee. It's all snow for most of North Carolina, and we continue to move forward here. And you know, obviously the big question is how long does this hang to snow just north of the ice and snow line in the Carolinas, Tennessee, northern Georgia, northern Alabama? But, you know, as we're starting to get into Sunday midday, this is a major freezing rain event. For example, let's stop it right here and let's compare what this looks like compared to the OOZ. Okay, it looks colder. For example, I want you to really keep your eyes close on North Carolina, and watch how on the morning run that ice snow line dips to the south a little bit. That's a pretty big dip south. And listen, the thing that you pull for here, nobody wants a catastrophic ice storm, but unfortunately, I think somebody is going to get one. The thing that you pull for here for your neck of the woods is that if you're in the freezing rain corridor right now, you pull for sleet. Obviously, you hope for snow, but this is how it is. It's freezing rain, sleet, snow. That's how it is in these type of overrunning events. What are you going to get? And the sleet part is going to be very, very difficult to figure out. But this is encouraging. I mean, that is like nuclear snowfall rates across North Carolina, Southern Virginia moving in. So you continue to move forward. I mean, you still got a freezing rain. It's still an ice storm ongoing across South Carolina, northern Georgia, northern Alabama. And you got heavy snow switching to freezing rain across North Carolina. And then let's see, it only goes out 144 hours out. So this takes us all the way out deep into this Sunday night, and it's still ongoing. Let's compare that with this. And you can already tell it's more beefed up on this run. So the storm looks even longer. Now, it might be because it comes in a little bit later. For example, let's compare this with that. Yeah, it comes in a little bit faster on the run overnight, but I mean, yeah, but I really want to watch. At the very end of the run, there could be a secondary boost of moisture that develops. But this is starting to round up the coastline, and the end of this run, this coming Sunday night and Monday, you got a major snowstorm moving into the mid-Atlantic. Ooh, I'm getting way caught up in this model runs. But anyways, the eastern U.S. for the GFS, same thing Saturday morning. And here's the evolution of this. Not going to break it down as much as I did the Euro. But you can see a wintry mess moving into northern Georgia, northern Alabama. You got snow breaking out across northern South Carolina, and then western North Carolina, Tennessee. And then we bump it over into Saturday evening. The orange is sleet. If you're wondering what in the world that crazy oranges, that's sleet, and you got a big sleet bomb showing up over South Carolina, Sandhills in North Carolina. Just north of that is snow. The pink is freezing rain, and that is heavy snow. Whoever is north of the sleet line is getting just ridiculous snowfall rates. Who's going to get the jackpot? You're going to get over a foot of snow. No doubt about it, whoever is sitting there. Maybe 2 foot. Listen, I'm telling you, this is an historic winter storm, folks. And then it continues. And then we get into Sunday morning. And then we get into Saturday and Sunday. Well, we can't back up a day, Mitch. I'm getting too caught up here. This is Sunday evening. And then check it out. Even into Sunday night, into Monday morning, we are still dealing with lingering winter weather. I mean, as far south, I mean, even like it's still around Monday morning all the way down to Charleston. So wild stuff. Now, we cannot section out the eastern U.S. on the AI guidance, so I'm going to have to take a broad look at it, and we're going to start it off with Saturday morning GFS AI, and let's go on and pull this down a little bit. The AI guidance has trended towards the regular run-of-the-mill models like the Euro, the GFS, and it's trended colder, and it's done that over the last 48 hours, basically. So here it comes, big winter storm. The purple on this output on polar weather is a wintry mix. It's still a warmer run, but it's more amped. Here it goes. And what I want you to pay attention to on the GFS AI, and let's look up here. This is getting into Sunday midday. I want you to watch as this secondary area of moisture shows up and kind of fills in the gap after the first main storm. So if this happens, when is this? This is getting into Monday morning. We have a secondary push of winter weather that moves across the Carolinas and surrounding states. That is something to watch out for. Now you look at the GFS AI, same thing starting off Saturday morning. And I mean, just look at just look how huge this is, folks. It is massive. And same thing, you move forward here, and this is just huge winter storm. I mean, I can sit here and get detailed about every model run, but I mean, this is getting into this weekend, and goodness gracious. I mean, it's just wrapping up late Sunday night into Monday morning and starting Saturday morning. 48-hour event for a lot of people. Your standard winter storm in the south lasts maybe 12, 18 hours at most. This will double that in many cases. So the Euro ensemble, how much snow does it show? Remember, this blends 51 members together, creates a mean or average, and it really is pinpointing Virginia, northern North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, into West Virginia and areas of the lower mid-Atlantic region. It shows a swath of several inches to a foot mean average. Drops off down here. Remember, this is just snow, so if you're thinking, well, we're not going to get anything down here in Georgia and South Carolina, that's not true. And if you look at the operational run, huge run on the overnight run, but let's look at the run that is just going now. So this is, and remember, this only goes out to Sunday night into Monday morning. It's still snowing in this area. But if you look, it's now almost putting a foot of snow over Charlotte. And man, that is a sharp cutoff in South Carolina. If you look at the run prior, you can see how that snow line kind of drops to the south here. Bang. And if you look at kind of the multi-run GIF here, you're going to see how the snow axis up to late Sunday night and Monday morning shifts south ever so slightly. Now, it kind of broadens also. So it's not that the moisture necessarily shifts south. One would argue the moisture shifting north. The cold air aloft is getting better further south, which means you can get rid of the freezing rain in certain areas and move it to sleet or snow. So GFS ensemble, same thing as the Euro ensemble. It likes northern North Carolina, it likes Virginia, it likes southern West Virginia, it likes the Delmarva, the Tidewater area, eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, western North Carolina. Has a little bit of a snow signal down to the south, but definitely favoring more sleet and freezing rain. And this was the operational run of the GFS, which absolutely crushed eastern Tennessee with 2 to 3 feet of snow. But that's that run. And then you look at the GFS AI, and we actually have the 06Z GFS AI, and it shifted south. And it increased the snowfall totals for the upper southeast in the mid-Atlantic. And it's not like the snow axis shifted south. It just broadened and got larger. So you look at this, and let's look how it gets larger. Like the snowfall on the Euro AI goes from 3.5 inches to 7 inches. It doubles in Charlotte, and it kind of sneaks more into northern South Carolina. So your boy here in central South Carolina, which if you're new to the channel, that's where I live. I'm right in the middle of kind of the sleet, freezing rain mess. So I'm really hoping that we can get some snow down here, but I'm going to have to do a lot of hoping and praying for that because it is going to be a tough ask with this setup. But the GFS as far as sleet, you're not going to get 5 to 6 inches of sleet in these areas, guys. But listen, I guess you can't necessarily rule it out. If you get 48 hours straight of sleet, you probably would get 6 inches of sleet. But sleet adds up a lot slower than snow, folks. A lot slower. Yeah, a lot slower. But I think the GFS does a great idea saying, hey, there is going to be sleet in here somewhere. But where is the corridor of sleet going to be? Just a beautiful example of this, folks, is the 2014 February winter storm here in the Carolinas and Georgia that obviously crawled up the eastern seaboard too. 48 hours out from that event here in Columbia, South Carolina, we were right in the middle of the worst of the freezing rain part of the system. It trended colder, and all of a sudden we got a sleet storm in areas down to Augusta, Aiken, Orangeburg. Here in South Carolina, ended up with a catastrophic ice storm, and we were saved up here in the Midlands for the most part with just a huge sleet storm. That's going to happen for certain areas. And it has eerie vibes from 2014 February. And this is the freezing rain signal. And I expect this to increase. In fact, that is a strong signal for over 1/4 to 1/2 inch of freezing rain in areas of Georgia and South Carolina and areas of North Carolina. And of course, don't ignore it here in southern areas of Tennessee, northern Alabama either. So to kind of wrap this video up, this is the latest graphic, was issued about an hour and a half or so ago from the National Weather Service. And I mean, this isn't just some random dude, me talking and hyping this storm up. This is the real deal, folks. This is the chances to at least see moderate impacts, and they're pretty high across a lot of these areas. It's kind of glitchy, it's kind of weird looking, but it's high. And it says most likely winter hazard type. The red is freezing rain, the blue is snow. This is a serious situation. The entire state of South Carolina, for example, is in freezing rain. And if you want to pause this and read this, you can, but this is a dangerous winter storm. And just explaining the setup real fast here, we'll start off Thursday afternoon. The blue and the green's embedded into the blue and stuff like that. That is our cold air source. It's a broad trough. That's what this is, eyesore on the screen. This is bringing down cold Arctic air. We got ridging up in the higher latitudes, and this is dislodging the cold air down to the south. Cold, brutally cold Arctic air. Then we got this Baja low right here. This is kind of our moisture boost that's going to prolong the duration of this winter storm. So it's right here. This is going to get picked up by this trough more than likely. And even if it doesn't, we're still going to get a long duration winter storm. So you get this in motion here. This big dome of cold air, this big broad trough, continues to funnel cold air down into the southern areas at the surface. So you're probably thinking, well, how in the world are we going to get a winter storm with a ridge over the southern tier of the country? Well, remember, we don't live at 500 millibars. So it might be warmer aloft, but at the surface, we got cold, shallow Arctic air. So we continue to move forward. We get into Saturday, and you can see our Baja low, big moisture surge begins to eject. And then we kind of have a secondary cold air source that develops right here. And then we position this deep cold trough right here. And this funnels cold air up underneath the ridging in the higher latitudes. So at the surface underneath this ridge, because believe it or not, you got a ridge over the southeast here, right? But this brings warm air kind of aloft, okay? But at the surface and in the mid-levels, it is brutally cold enough for winter weather. I mean, it's the teens and 20s. And that is because this cold air source yanks down, brings down a lot of cold Arctic air east of the Appalachian Mountains. And at the same time, we already have a lot of cold air funneling into the moisture just from central Canada. So you kind of have dual cold air sources working in tandem, if that makes sense. Another way to look at this is the temperature anomalies, right? So the Barney colors, I mean, that's 20 to 25 degrees below average. All right, so we start off Saturday morning and watch how this cold air kind of oozes in. And then, like I said, you kind of cold air source here, and then cold air kind of dropping down into the southern tier of the country. But regardless, like you stop it here, this is Sunday afternoon. Great example of this. Cold air source here, cold air source here, dropping down. This is a cold air source due to the cold air damming, which is our source up here in Atlantic Canada, funneling in cold, shallow Arctic air down to this region. So, I mean, it is just brutally cold temperatures with moist air, moist precipitation overrunning this. So the last way we show this to you is this is high pressure and low pressure. So you have a 10:54 Friday morning cold Arctic high pressure dropping down to the plains. This is going to bring brutally cold Arctic air. At the same time, you have lowering pressure out west, which is a massive moisture surge source. And you continue to move forward, and you can see the blue creeping up to the south, kind of getting up under this cold high pressure here. And then that high pressure positions itself right here. And then that's when you see kind of the buckling of the isobars right into here. Kind of going like this. That's because this cold high is funneling in cold Arctic air at the surface. And at the same time, we have this juiced up low pressure, which is in the blue, lower heights, lower pressure, riding over that very cold Arctic air. And of course, you just got overrunning across this region. Okay, so that's what's going on, guys. This is the real deal. And just how cold this system is, the duration of it, it looks extreme. It does. So that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll have another video this evening. I might go live later this afternoon just talking over some things. I am beyond, I know I've said this many times, probably to the point of annoyance to some people, but I am behind comments to the point where I'll never get called up again. I mean, I haven't even answered comments from some videos back when we were covering the system for Sunday. All my social media platforms are growing like a wildfire right now, and it's a blessing. It's overwhelming, almost to the point where it almost is kind of bringing a little bit of anxiety. It's pathetic to say that because it really is, and I feel bad for saying I'm just being real with you. It's bringing a level of anxiety because I've lost my personal touch with you guys. I haven't been able to read any of the comments, any of the prayer requests. Luckily, I got prayer warriors in part of this channel that will pray literally over all the prayer requests, but it is killing me. It's stressing me out because I want to get to all of them. But when I work a full-time job, I have a family right in front of me, a wife and kids that need my attention, obviously. More importantly, God needs my attention. I have to kind of stay focused. And when it gets like this, it's like I put a lot of my energy into one thing. But when you put so much energy into one thing, you lose attention to other things. And it doesn't matter how much you try to spread out that energy everywhere else, you're still going to lose it in another area. So I'm very big on my faith. I'm very big on my family. I'm very big on my health and working out and eating right. And I'm obviously very big with this YouTube platform and my social media. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm not trying to make you guys say, oh, we feel bad for you, Mitch. I just want you guys to understand the volume that's coming at me right now. And really, this is the time where I need a team. But I just don't even have time to really sit down and make a team. And honestly, I don't want to do that until I can fully commit to this full time. And I just don't know when that will ever be. So that's all I got. We'll do it again tonight. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on X, Twitter. We'll have updates every single hour there. God bless, and we'll talk again soon.